We don't have the words.
Can you see your
Did you go to a show? We're good. Go. Singing?
Welcome everyone to our council meeting for Tuesday, May 23rd, 2017. Can we please rise for the singing of O Canada and remain standing for the opening petition by Councillor Trombetta. Councillor Belsma? O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy sons command, with glowing hearts we see thee rise, a true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Councillor Trombetta, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We gather to make decisions to our community. May we use only our best skills and judgment, keeping ourselves impartial and neutral as we consider the merits and pitfalls of each matter that is placed before us, and always act in accordance with what is best for our community and our fellow citizens.
Well, welcome everyone. Hopefully everybody has a nice rested after a 4-day weekend. It's quite nice out there this weekend, other than it rained on Sunday. But is there any change in order of items on tonight's agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on to disclosure of pecuniary interest and/or conflict of interest. Seeing none, Madam Clerk. Request to address items on the agenda, as we have not so full of an agenda, or not so full of a gallery tonight. I don't think there's anybody that's going to be taking part in that. No appointments or presentations. We'll move on to confirmation of minutes. Council minutes regular, April 24th, 2017. Councillor Bosma, you have that resolution, please.
You moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Bell that the minutes of the April 24th regular council will be accepted.
Councillors, you've heard the resolution moved by Councillor Bosma and seconded by Councillor Bell. Is there any comments or questions? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? And that's carried. B, public meetings under the Planning Act, May 8, 2017 minutes. Councillor Ganand, you have that resolution, please.
Yes, I do. Thank you. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Bell that the minutes of the public meetings held on May 8th, 2017, under Section 34 of the Planning Act, with respect to A, zoning bylaw amendment, W&T Poultry, Gabe Kosis, agent, file number 1601-005-17, and B, zoning bylaw amendment, Teresa Crowder, file number 1601-006-17, be accepted.
Thank you. Councillors, you've heard the resolution moved by Councillor Ganand and seconded by Councillor Bell. Is there any comments or questions? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? And that's carried. Okay, there are no communications for tonight. I'll move on to Mayor's remarks. I'll be very quick with those. First of all, I just want to let everyone know again that the Niagara Regional Police Services Board monthly quarterly meeting will be held here on Thursday, May 25th in our council chamber, starting at 8:30 in the morning, approximately until 1:30, 2 o'clock, Madam Clerk? Yeah, so all are welcome to come and listen. There's quite a few items on this month's agenda. So there are a few people speaking from West Lincoln too as well. A couple of them are local merchants, and they will be talking about police response times. Also, I would like to talk about the Canada 150 on July 1st, just a reminder. I'll go through the agenda real quickly. It starts at 11 o'clock in the morning in downtown Smithville. Starts off with 62 Phantom Squadron opening ceremonies. And all day long from 11 till 5, the train station is open for people to visit. 11:30, Kids Canada Bike Parade, and this is where kids are able to dress up their tricycles and scooters and different things in Canada red and white colors and create a parade, and they'll be judged, and prizes will be given out to everyone. At 12 o'clock, we have the Great Big Crunch, which means that through Healthy Kids Initiative, through the Niagara region, we will be all crunching an apple at the same time. At 12 o'clock, the wrestling show starts. It's approximately 2 hours. The ring will be set up in downtown Smithville on Highway 20 in front of the Royal Bank. 12:30, the first band starts. It's K-Bola. It's a merengue salsa style band. At 2 o'clock, there's another performance, and 3:30, a performance by Country and Western by Brad Battle, and 4:30, closing remarks, and at 5, the event closes. And then we shift everybody down, we send everybody home, and then bring them back again if they would like at 7 o'clock for nighttime concert and fireworks. At 7 o'clock, it starts with the opening ceremonies with the town crier. 7:15 is a Aboriginal dance. At 8 p.m., Martina Ortiz Louise will be performing. She's the young lady who's been singing the national anthem at the Toronto Maple Leaf games during the playoffs, when Toronto was in the playoffs. 9 o'clock, Elton Ron. 10 p.m., O Canada, sung by Martina Ortiz Louise. And then at 10:05, Garden City fireworks. I forgot to mention that during the daytime, there's also a lot of artists and vendors and music and food. And as well, there is a kids zone, which will include inflatables, petting zoo, pony rides, face painting, and a obstacle course. So, being that we're having the Canada 150 celebration on July 1st, the Township of West Lincoln Recreation Services is excited to announce that we will be holding a Canada 150 block party, as well as an evening concert and fireworks in celebration of Canada 150's anniversary of Confederation. This will be a large community event for all ages that could not be put on without the generous help of volunteers. So the township is looking for volunteers. These volunteer positions include daytime inflatable monitors, daytime Canada 150 swag distributors, daytime tattoos applicator in the kids zone, daytime Great Big Crunch, it's the apple handout, daytime bike parade marshals, and evening Canada flag distributors. So if you're interested in being a volunteer for the Canada 150 celebration, please contact Wendy Deedy, Coordinator of Recreation Services at the Township of West Lincoln. On Saturday, June 10th, is Evans Ride for Autism. This is the 9th annual. Usually it is held the last Saturday in May. They've now moved it up, or moved it ahead 1 week to July 10th. Again, it will be 11 or a 22-kilometer ride in support of those in Niagara living with autism spectrum disorder. Stay for lunch, prizes, and family fun activities. The MC, special guest MC this year, will be Chris Biggs from the Biggs and Bar Show from 97.7. And they also feed you lunch, so it's a really good time. If any members of council would like to join me, these white chicken legs will be riding a bicycle as well. So please come out and have some fun. And a couple other things. I just wanted to bring to everybody's attention that the Kids Summer Camp 2017 brochure is out. The camp involves ages groups 4 to 7 and 8 to 12. We have things like leader in training. We also have there's also different themes each week. The first theme is O Canada, and then they have Amazing Arts, Sports Extravaganza, Fear Factor, The Mighty Jungle, Superheroes, Minute to Win It, and Myths and Legends. So if you would like to have your children join up for summer camp, please go online to pull off the application form or pick one up here at the Township of West Lincoln. Those are my remarks for the month of May. Thank you, everyone. We'll move on to report of committee. Planning, Building, Environmental Committee, May 8, 2017 minutes. Confidential minutes are under separate cover. Councillor Chichuk, you have that resolution, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Trombetta. The minutes of the open session portion of the May 8, 2017 Planning, Building, Environmental Committee meeting be accepted and the recommendations contained therein be approved. And that the confidential minutes relating to the closed session portion of the May 8th, 2017 Planning, Building, Environmental Committee meeting be accepted, and that the minutes remain confidential and restricted from public disclosure in accordance with the exemptions provided in the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. Thank you.
Councillors, you've heard the resolution moved by Councillor Chichuk and seconded by Councillor Trombetta. Is there any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? And that's carried. Move on to B, Administration Finance Fire Committee, May 15, 2007 minutes. Confidential minutes are under separate cover. Councillor Terry Bell, you have that resolution.
Yes, I do. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Godin. Sorry. That the minutes of the open session portion of the Administration Finance Fire Committee meeting held on May 15th, 2017 be accepted, and that the recommendation contained therein be approved with the exception of items A 55-17. That the confidential minutes relating to the closed session portion of the May 15th, 2017 Administration Finance Committee be accepted, and that the minutes remain confidential and restricted from public disclosure in accordance with the exceptions provided in the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection Privacy Act.
Thank you, councillors. Councillors, you've heard the resolution. Moved by Councillor Bell and seconded by Councillor Gannan. Any questions or comments? Councillor Rayner.
Thank you. I'd like to speak this time with regards to item A48-17, if I may, Mr. Mayor.
A4817?
A48-17.
Okay, Madam Clerk?
Through you, there is no recommendation under that item. Councillor Rayner just has a comment.
Okay.
May I proceed?
Yes, go ahead, Councillor.
Okay, this was in relationship last week from the mayor to myself regarding the letter from the Integrity Commissioner, Suzanne Craig, regarding the MERS project. This was listed last week as for information only, and my past experience, and I've been here a long time, as my hair color and lack of hair will tell you, it has never really been brought out to the forefront. But the mayor decided last week that he wanted an apology from me from what he perceived that I had done something wrong. I want to make it clear to the public that the letter that I composed was given to the Integrity Commissioner, Suzanne Craig, to review. She reviewed the videos, and her recommendation to me, which she added into the letter, was to check with the town clerk to see what happened to the change from February 27th to April the 18th with regards to option B. Failing that, to seek legal advice. Those were the recommendations by the Integrity Commissioner. Those were not ones that I made up. Those were ones that she suggested. Based on that, and I wanted to make sure that I got a hold of somebody when I was reviewing this because I felt there was something wrong, something missing. I wanted to find somebody who had the respect of council that there would not be a problem with the validity of what was said. And since the Integrity Commissioner is hired by the Township of West Lincoln to represent the members of council, I felt that was the direction to go. However, the mayor still felt that this was wrong. But as I called the Integrity Commissioner after the letter, which was sent to my place by staff, because I don't have email, it indicated her stand on it. I had called her afterwards, and she concurred again with me that she would not have recommended looking to find information with regards to what happened to procedure from February 27th to April the 18th, and that you need to look at the town clerk or the attorney. She would not have mentioned those two options had she not felt that there also was something there that did not make sense, did not add up, and was wrong, and this is the direction she recommended in order to find a resolution. I've done the best I could to bring this out into the open to the public. I also felt that since this happened between February 27th and April the 18th, that it took away some of the democratic process with regards to determining the correct direction with regards to MERS. Had that option still been on there, and we discussed it, and the democratic process decided that no, we were going to go with the whole thing, I would not have had a problem with it. That's what we're here to make the decision. But when one of those options, which is a very important one, is taken away, especially what I felt would be something that could take some money away from the rural and give us an opportunity to get some things done in the country and yet still get the arena done. I felt that there was something missing here that didn't add up. I asked council if they would go in camera with our attorney to determine some way to find the reason why this happened, and it was turned down. This is similar to me than what's going on right now in the U.S. with Trump. They've hired an independent, Robert Mueller, to investigate the Russia and the election and all the rest of this stuff. This is almost kind of parallels the same thing with me here. I'm just trying to find the truth and to find out what happened. The best reliable information I can find is the Integrity Commissioner, and she concurred that there was something missing. Now, by not proceeding with it, I don't know. I mean, we go back to the States. Michael Flynn is the Fifth Amendment. Fifth Amendment means he will not be convicted if he's guilty. By not investigating this, are we not admitting that there's something that did happen, but we don't want to know about it? I'm still offering it to members of council if they wish to have this reviewed to find out, even if it was an honest mistake or whatever the case may be. At this point, we really don't know. All we know is that in February 27th, we were told there were three options: accept the RFP as it is, option B, change the RFP however in the heck you want and accept it, or option C, turn the RFP down. When April the 18th came, option B was missing. Basically, you change a tiny little bit or you do the whole thing over again and it's all for naught. That's not what happened on February 27th. Both the Integrity Commissioner and myself feel there is a void that happened between that period and we don't know what it is. I'm not saying it would have changed it at the end, Mr. Mayor. It may have gone that very way, but at least having that option there, having the due process for which we were elected to find out which option would be best for this township and the taxpayers, that's what we're here for. That's what did not happen. And therefore, that's why I did the direction I did. Now, you want an apology from me. Obviously, there is nothing, in my opinion, that needs to have an apology because I have done nothing wrong. I have done what I have been elected to do, which was find the truth. It almost feels like I'm watching a movie, A Few Good Men, and you're Jack Nicholson and I'm Tom Cruise. I'm just trying to find the truth. And I don't know what the truth is, and I don't know what happened. All I know is that the options that were presented on February 27th were not available to us on April the 18th, and it was critical and it was important, and we don't seem to have an answer. So, as I mentioned before, there is nothing, as far as I'm concerned, that needs an apology. I have done nothing wrong. In fact, I've done due diligence and tried to explore the options to try to find the truth. However, Mr. Mayor, I do believe you do owe me an apology with regards to the CAO situation and the leaving of the CAO. You knew with regards to the Integrity Commissioner that I did not have email. You had the stick sent to me by staff to ensure that I could review it. When the CAO left, you could have had the stick sent to me to tell me the CAO left. It's the #1 position in the township. All members of council should know. You're the leader. You should make sure we know. You also could have called me. But what worst of all is, I was also at that time, as I am right now, the deputy mayor of the township. And not even the deputy mayor gets informed by the mayor of the top position of this township being affected. There's definitely something wrong there. It's not something I caused, but it's definitely something that could have been prevented. And I believe I am owed an apology with regards to the fact that we can find ways to inform me of something when you think you're going to go after me for something, but when something is in due process, especially when I am assistant to the mayor, I get left out. That is wrong, that is not proper, and I would expect an apology.
Any questions or comments?
So I will say this to you, Councillor Rayner. Starting next week, I will invite you into my office to go through the RFP process yet again and discuss in actual fact what the Integrity Commissioner's letter actually did say. And the Integrity Commissioner did not say anything of the sort that this township or the staff did anything wrong. Now, you've mentioned many times now that there was something wrong, and you're comparing yourself to the Trump administration and things are going on there. I have no idea what you're talking about, where that's coming from, but this township and staff did nothing wrong. And that's, in fact, what the Integrity Commissioner's letter said. 100%. As far as the CAO leaving the township, an email was sent out. I personally know that you talked to councillors and knew that the CAO was leaving too as well. So I have no idea where that's coming from either. And I would suggest that I would suggest that I almost know for 100% fact that my executive assistant called your house and let you know that. So at that, I will leave it at that. But next week, you and I will get together and discuss this one more time as to what no, there's no rebuttal. You've had your say, Councillor. That's it. Does anybody else have anything to say?
You are incorrect on both counts, Mr. Mayor, so I would like clarification.
That's it.
on that.
No, Councillor, there's no more rebuttal. We're moving
I
on.
did not receive a phone call, and it was your responsibility for me, and you can't go by hearsay, Mr. Mayor. And the Integrity
We're done,
Commissioner
Councillor.
is willing to come here and talk to you.
Councillor, we're
because
done.
There's nothing to hide. You're
Okay,
done.
move
I'm
on.
not. You started it.
We'll
I'll
move on
finish it.
to
Thank you.
reconsideration. No, actually, we've got item A5517, hiring committee.
No.
Says with exception of
No,
items
that's
A.
another one.
You still actually have to vote.
10.
No.
Okay, so moved by Councillor Bell and seconded by Councillor Ganell.
No, we
Ganell?
do have item,
No, we do have another one.
we have A55, that was extracted, you're right.
Okay, so who has the extraction
I
from
have
there?
that. Am I allowed to do this? I just want to check to make sure everything's okay, Mr. Mayor. I don't want to step out of line and have another apology. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Chichok that item A55-17-1 from the May 15, 2017 Administration Finance Fire Committee meeting be approved. Item A55-17-1, that the hiring committee for the position of CAO be comprised of the Mayor Douglas Joyner, the Chair of Administration Finance Fire Committee, Carolyn Langley Clerk, and a representative from the Niagara Region Human Resources Department as a non-voting member.
Moved by Councillor Rayner, seconded by Councillor Chichok. Is there any questions or comments?
There's a further one, Mr. Mayor, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Trombetta. Councillor Cheryl Nan, oh, no, sorry, that's the wrong one. I have another one somewhere. That item A55 be amended to provide, it's moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Chichok, that item A55-17 be amended to provide for the addition of Councillor Rayner to the hiring committee.
Councillor, you've heard the resolution. Moved by Councillor Rayner and seconded by Councillor Chichok that Councillor Rayner be added to the hiring committee. Any questions or comments? Councillor Rayner.
Thank you. Thought about the situation with regards to the parties, and I realized the parties that were selected were the parties that were selected from the last time this process was done. This particular situation, I feel that it would not hurt to have a representative from the rural in there. Also looking for a CAO that has the interest, the respect, the knowledge of agriculture, that could also work to assist us in the needs that we need in the country regarding infrastructure and stuff, much the same as the CAO has spent a lot of time with regards to the projects in the urban area. So I'm thinking it's an opportunity that maybe we should be looking for somebody that has a diverse background, that has an appreciation and respect and realizes the importance and how much agriculture does mean to this township of West Lincoln. And in that direction, we'll look to try to provide means, support, direction that can enhance the things that need to be done in the country that are lacking at this time. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, we'll vote on that first because that will then change A55-17. So moved by Councillor Rayner, second by Councillor Chichok. Yeah.
Just one question, sorry to get ahead of myself there.
Sure.
Just this message that's maybe to the clerk. Madam Clerk, who is, for years of this municipality, who has been on the hiring committee for the CAOs for the past decade and so forth for hiring a CAO for this community?
Through you to members of council, I know that the last recruit had myself, the mayor, and the chair of planning, and the former CAO. I honestly don't remember before that. Prior to Derek, it was Bill Young, and he was appointed after Salter Hayden left, and I don't think that there was I think he just got appointed directly. Same with Salter,
So
so.
Salter, then Bill,
Then
Derek.
Derek.
then Derek.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just been the one with the same committee that we have now.
So Bill, sorry, not to hold the history, Madam Clerk. So Bill Young, so once Salter was let go of his duties, Bill Young was
Appointed.
appointed, and there was no committee to appoint, it was just,
I believe that's how it went.
okay. But from future, it was yourself, the mayor, and
The chair of admin.
Chair of admin. Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk.
Councillor Chichuk for first time.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Mayor, I think what we need to understand is the sensitivity of the entire need of this community. And we need to understand all of the future activities that we want to achieve. And so regardless of who's on the committee, I think it behooves us to make sure that two things are there. One, that this council makes a commitment to developing a review of our strategic directions in the fall or something, so that we all know we're on the same page, and that would set someone new in the job understanding what we think is the priority. Number two, I think that regardless of who's on the hiring committee, Mr. Mayor, I believe the last time we hired someone, we had a very robust opportunity to have discussion in camera, and when it was that we felt that there was more time needed to be dedicated to it, we went again, and all of council had opportunity to discuss it at length. Is that correct?
That is correct on the final two applicants.
When we chose and how we chose, it was all of council having substantial input. Without going further and needing to go into camera to discuss this, I'm just saying that we need to be mindful of the fact that that all of that is intended this time. You've suggested that yourself, correct?
That's correct, Councillor.
Okay, that was all.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, so we'll vote on moved by Councillor Rayner, second by Councillor Chichuk, that Councillor Rayner be added to the hiring committee. All those in favor? That is lost. Okay, so we'll move on to move by the original motion, moved by Councillor Rayner, second by Councillor Chichuk, that the hiring committee for the position of CAO be comprised of Mayor Douglas Joyner, the chair of the Administration Finance Fire Committee, Carolyn Langley, clerk, and a representative from the Niagara Region Human Resources Department as a non-voting member. Questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? That's carried. Okay. So, Madam Clerk, I have this one in front of me too as well, moved by Councillor Bell and second by Councillor Ganaan. That's the original motion, is it not? Yes. Okay, and we already did that. Okay. The other two are in there, Madam Clerk. Okay. Okay, we'll move on to Public Works Recreation Arena Committee, May 15, 2017 minutes. Resolution, Councillor Trombetta, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Chichuk that the minutes of the Public Works Recreation Arena Committee meeting being held on May 15, 2017 be accepted, and that the recommendations contained therein be approved with the exception of items.
Councillors, you've heard the resolution moved by Councillor Trombetta and seconded by Councillor Chichuk. Any questions or comments? I'll call the vote. All those in favor? And that's carried. Okay, councillors, the definition for reconsideration and notice of motion to rescind is there for your viewing pleasure. We will move on to other business. Councillor Trombetta, disclosure of information from closed session. You have the floor, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just asked to be on the agenda tonight because there was an item in the paper, in one of our local newspapers. I don't really read them often, but someone called me and asked me about a couple things. And in the paper, it was written at the back, it said you had one counselor storming out after a council rose from closed session. So after closed session, Mr. Mayor, last week we had another councilman bring up how things get put in the paper and how the paper decides to view the videos and make their analysis and put the stuff in the local paper on what the information they gather from the videotapes. But this item, in which I agree with what the councillor said, that obviously they make their decisions on what they see on the videos that are posted on YouTube in 48 hours. But this item was not on the video, and it was in the local paper. That happened during a closed session with one of our members of the council, and it was in closed session, and it was brought to my attention that it was in closed session from our staff, and I find that stuff that's happening in closed session is a reason why it's in closed session. We take a code of conduct here, and we've all abided by the code of conduct that is brought forward when we are elected officials. And to have stuff being brought to the papers that's happening in closed session, I think it's wrong. It's unfair to the public. There's many people from the public that have issues that come forward in closed session. There's members of staff that have issues that come in closed session. There's multiple things that come in closed session. And to have a lack of trust through members of this council that it's going to get aired into the paper, I think there's a problem here, Mr. Mayor. And I hope we can find a resolution to it. I think it's unfair to the public, and it's unfair that the public can be seen that they won't be able to trust some members of council because of stuff getting into the paper, especially when it's in closed session. So I'm kind of appalled that happened. I don't know how it happened, and I'm less for words. I don't know why it happened, but obviously someone is reporting to the paper of stuff that's happening in closed session. And I just wanted to bring that point forward to you, Mr. Mayor. And I know we have our town solicitor here, and hopefully we'll have some discussion further on in closed session, and hopefully it keeps quiet. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you. Questions or comments? I really is not an area where there is questions or comments, but Councillor Rayner.
Being careful not to step on the wrong toes and get bit again. What exactly did you mean by that? You don't want me to comment? Are you saying it's not worth a comment? Or what are you trying to say, Mr. Mayor, before I say something?
I'm just asking you to be very careful to what you say to it. It was just a comment made by Councillor Trombetta, but if you want to make a comment, go ahead.
The only comment that I want to make, well, there's actually two. One is, yes, I agree with Councillor Trombetta that what happens behind closed doors should remain behind closed doors, and that's the purpose of being in camera, and it's supposed to be confidential. I don't know how this information got out, but it was a general statement, now that I look at it, that it says one councillor storming out, so nobody knows who it was. It's wrong that it happened, but it wasn't as specific and damaging as it could have been. But it does lead one to believe that there is a leak somewhere. That's all I can say.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, I'm going to make a quick comment. I'm going to make the comment that it is very disheartening that this happened. It's actually very unfair, Councillor. I agree with you. And the other point I'm going to make is that the Municipal Act says that what happened in camera, there's only 5 reasons why you can go into camera. So when the press knows what's happening in camera, that makes me wonder what else is being leaked out there. Like, it's very disheartening, Council. And Councillor Trombetta is right. Our solicitor is here, and he will be discussing with us. That is one topic he will be discussing with us in closed session too as well. I would like to say that from this point forward, that no words and no actions. What happens in closed should leave this room ever again for the remainder of this
this term. And I think it's very clear that there were emails and texts going around, which is also not good as by the Municipal Act that night. So I don't think it's fair to pinpoint anyone at this particular point, but we'll just say, suffice to say that from this point on, that nothing that is said or actions in closed session is to go to the paper. Councilor Rayner.
Thank you. Further to that, Mr. Mayor, what about the use of texting and stuff by councilors while committee is being held?
Not allowed.
So how do we enforce that?
Well, there's one way that you can enforce it. You can actually do a freedom of information to take, a particular day and time and then check everybody's emails and texts and that. But then again, it's the township
Or you could do
emails.
like security places do, and you leave your weapon at the door and pick it up when you leave. You can leave your cell phone at the table there, and you pick it up when you come back.
That's one way of doing it, Councilor.
Well, that's probably the best way to do it, because I've seen things that go on. I don't text, I don't play with the phones. I got more important things to do in life than figure my little fingers on a little dial. So I just see it going on, and I don't know if it's going on between parties here or calling your wife at home or your husband at home. I have no idea, but I have seen it done. But since you're bringing this up and it's a whole big thing that's going to be talked about tonight, let's talk about that too. And when you come here, you should have nothing that distracts you other than your responsibilities on what's on the agenda.
Okay. Councilor
And
Trim.
And before the phones cut out with all this stuff, there wasn't a problem with that.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think Councilor Rayner makes a good point. If there's members of this council that can't keep their phones down, then I think they should be, if any calls need to be made, they can be made to the clerk. If there's an emergency at home, I think there's going to be access to the clerk, have a phone here. And if there's an emergency from home that someone needs to get a hold of someone from this council, then it can go right to the clerk. Also, talking to other members I've heard that that night there was also the local paper was already reaching out to people at 12 midnight on stuff that's happened on this council and through texts and emails. So yes, there is play-by-play going on this table to the local paper on what's going on in this council to the local paper prior to them actually viewing the video, which is an unfair advantage to other papers that are not getting that advantage. When I feel bad because they're getting information firsthand, where other papers in this community don't have that advantage, and it's unfair. So I think that, I think Councilor Rayner raises a good point. And you know what? Confiscate the phones. If there's an emergency, they can sit inside that cabinet up there, and if there's an emergency, any emergencies, everybody will have the clerk's number. If there's an emergency from a family member, they can reach out to the clerk, and the clerk will advise us accordingly. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Bell.
Next month, I'd like to bring forward a recommendation, a resolution about cell phones, that when we come into the council chamber, all phones go under the desk, away in your pockets, bags, they're turned off, not to come on until session is over. I don't need to lock them in cupboards. We're all big people here. I think we just need to pass that recommendation, put it into play, and that will assure that cell phones are not on the desk. And we take them off, shut them off. And we ask the residents to do the same thing, turn them off. So we need to start abiding by our own rules. So I'd like to bring that forward next month.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine, Mr. Mayor. I was just going to say that, we also have recess too, where people can do the same thing, Terry, right? So, you know what, I just, obviously we have an issue. This council has an issue, and we need to get to the bottom of it. That's all, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no more questions or comments, we'll move on. We'll move on to B, appointment of acting mayor, Mrs. Cheryl Gannan, from June 1st, 2017 to November 30th of 2017.
Councilor Rayner, you have that resolution, please.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, moved by myself and seconded by Councilor Trombetta that Councilor Cheryl Gann be and hereby appointed acting mayor from June the 1st, 2017 to and including November 30th, 2017, if she wants it. Pays good.
Councilors, you've heard the resolution moved by Councilor Rayner, seconded by Councilor Trombetta, moving Councilor Cheryl Gann to be appointed as the acting mayor from June 1st to November 30th. All those in favor? That is carried. Okay, next on the agenda is members of council, council remarks. I'll start from my right, your left. Councilor Bell? Councilor Bellsma? Councilor Gann? Councilor Chichuk?
Nothing.
Councilor Trombetta?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to say to Mr. Carter, this is his last meeting tonight. Thank you for your hard work and dedication to this community. You will not be forgotten. Thank you for always taking my call at 8 o'clock in the morning to meet me because I needed to get to work and I needed stuff done and or needed some answers. And you met me outside your working hours always to accommodate me. You did a great job for this community. I just wanted to say thank you and good luck in the future to you and your family. Thanks for your hard work and dedication. Again, thanks for always answering the phone and being there for me. Thank you, Mr. Carter.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Rayner?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. To Mr. Carter, good luck and thanks for the members.
Okay, I have a couple things, actually. I want to talk about tomorrow. We're expecting about 150 kids here for our Public Works event. It's kind of like a touch-a-truck event, so there will be Public Works vehicles here of all shapes and sizes, fire trucks and fire apparatus, and as well the Niagara region is bringing down some of their different pieces too as well, including their water truck too. So it's a chance for kids to come over to the township and basically just be able to walk all over all of these vehicles, get up inside of them and play with the steering wheel and beat the horn, and it's very interactive. There will be lots of supervision here. There will be members of our Public Works, members of the Region Public Works, and our firefighters here doing demonstrations, and will supervise all of these young children so that they can enjoy and learn all there is to know about big pieces of machinery. I also want to say thank you to Mr. Carter too as well. Wish him all the best. Wish his family all the best. He's done an excellent job here. He's moved us through the agenda many a night when we got stalled and helped us find our way to get through when it was a little cloudy sometimes. But you managed to simplify it and break it down and give us the resources and the tools to come to some kind of decision, and that's all we can ever ask as staff, is to give us the pertinent facts in order to make the right decision at the right time. So thank you so much, and all the best to your family. And I know that we'll see you around at the region at different events too as well. So thank you, Chris, so much. Today's his daughter's birthday too as well, which is quite unique because I feel like we've grown up with her. You were here when you and Janessa had your first, and today's her third, so it's, I don't think we'll ever forget this day. It's ingrained in our memory, so. 2 parties, yes. So thank you, Chris. We'll move on to bylaws, and let's see who has that. Councilor Bylsma? Hold on a sec, I did skip 14. Is there any new items of business? Only for items that require immediate attention, direction from council. Any new items of business, council? No? Okay. So we'll move on to the bylaws, and Councilor Balza, you have that resolution, so take a big sip of water.
Wow, it's not as bad as it used to be. Moved by myself and seconded by Councilor Trombetta. That leave be granted to introduce bylaws 2017-51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, and 62, and that the same shall be considered to have been read a first, second, and third time with one reading and are hereby adopted, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to sign and affix the corporate seal thereto, any rule of this council to the contrary notwithstanding.
Thank you. Councilors, you've heard the bylaws by Councilor Bausma, second by Councilor Trombetta. Is there any comments or questions this time? Seeing none, we'll call the vote. All those in favor? It's carried. Okay, we are now going to move into closed session. Councilor Ganand, you have that resolution, please.
I do, thank you. Pardon me, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Bell, that the next portion of this meeting be closed to the public to consider the following pursuant to Section 239(2) of the Municipal Act 2001. A, CAO Chris Carter and Township Solicitor Tom Richardson, re legal matter, judicial review of District School Board of Niagara accommodation review relating to the closure of South Lincoln High School. Applicable closed session exemptions, litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board, or advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose. And B, Township Solicitor Tom Richardson, re legal matter, code of conduct breach, disclosure of information from closed session. Applicable closed session exemptions, advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose.
Thank you, Councilor Ganand. Councilors, you've heard the resolution moved by Councilor Ganand, second by Councilor Bell. Obviously, there's no comments or questions. All in favor of going into close? It's carried.
Post.
Might be gonna get leaked out.